Hello, Marty DeGrama here. Welcome to my channel, Crypto Data and News. I share the crypto news of the day. If you enjoy what you're seeing, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. Enjoy the video.
We're going to talk about is Sprecher and his partner Loeffler, and they are on the brink of bringing cryptocurrency to the mainstream. And we are actually going to read this article, and then we'll talk about it and move on. So first, an introduction is in order. Sprecher is the founder, chairman, and CEO of Intercontinental Exchange, ICE, the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange. He is a disruptor par excellence and stands alone as the leading force in modernizing the world's exchange in recent years, from open outcry pits into super efficient electronic marketplaces. So we remember all those movies from the 80s and early 90s, you know, the pits of the New York Stock Exchange, people yelling, throwing papers, screaming over each other. It was a movie, Wall Street, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So this guy took the New York Stock Exchange into the modern age, and in layman's terms, he saved the New York Stock Exchange. Loeffler has worked in various roles in ICE since 2002. She recently ran point on ICE's Digital Assets Group. She is now going to serve as the CEO of Bakkt, the new venture that aims to bring cryptocurrency into the mainstream. To achieve this vision, ICE is partnering with, among others, Microsoft and Starbucks. According to Loeffler, Bakkt is designed to serve as a scalable on-ramp for institutional, merchant, and consumer participation in digital assets by promoting greater efficiency, security, and utility. This is important. This is big news. Let me read this again. Bakkt is designed to serve as a scalable on-ramp for institutional, merchant, and consumer participation in digital assets by promoting greater efficiency, security, and utility. The first part of Loeffler's sentence bears highlighting. Bakkt aims to serve 1. Institutional investors, 2. Merchants, and 3. Consumers. Not to slight Microsoft's role, but the fact that Starbucks, with its massive retail presence, has been a leading player in mobile payments instantly gets the ball rolling with merchants and consumers. While it may be less obvious, it is no less significant to this venture that merchants and institutional investors are also tied together. The importance of this connection between institutional investors and merchants cannot be overstated. This connection is the very reason that ICE's role is so critical. ICE can offer the crypto world something that it currently lacks, something that many crypto enthusiasts steadfastly reject: a trusted third party. But if crypto purists take a deep breath, they'll see that Bakkt could be the third party that indirectly helps to maintain consumers' ability to use Bitcoin as a decentralized currency, the way Bitcoin was originally envisioned. The key is that ICE operates 2 of the largest commodity futures exchanges on the planet, ICE Futures US and ICE Futures Europe. These federally regulated exchanges provide clearing services that effectively eliminate credit risk for the buyers and sellers and legitimize the transactions for institutional players. The name Bakkt is a play on words, as it is backed by stalwart institution or backed by other assets. I like that. This arrangement is critical because no sane hedge fund manager, no matter how much he wants or needs a gamble in his portfolio, is going to buy cryptocurrency without being able to ensure he's not buying it from a terrorist. Why does this matter for gaining Bitcoin's acceptance as a currency? That's a good question. Why does this matter for Bitcoin's acceptance and adoption as a currency? Because a retailer like Starbucks will not accept cryptocurrency as payment from millions of customers unless it can be sure it will be able to do something with all those digital tokens. And institutional investors live to buy large quantities of assets, provided they can do so legally and as safely as they can possibly conduct such transactions. So ICE provides the perfect match. Bakkt plans to provide a trading platform for Bitcoin using day one futures contract. Okay, so we're digging a little deeper now on how this is actually going to work. Bakkt plans to provide a trading platform for Bitcoin using day one futures contract, a contract typically reserved for illiquid assets. This move will allow trades to settle in one day, the same as in the cash market. In other words, investors and merchants can get in or out of their position as quickly as they need to, thus mitigating the risk of price volatility. In industry terms, Bakkt will provide the necessary infrastructure for regular institutional trading. Once Bakkt has tons of digital tokens stored in its warehouse, institutional investors can trade all day without having to report transactions to the blockchain. But while all of this is going on in the background, retail customers can simply buy Bitcoin as they always have, and then use those Bitcoins to buy a cup of coffee, or whatever, or HODL. The institutional players are relying directly on the third party. The consumers are relying directly on the decentralized network. It is difficult to overstate how transformative this gambit could become. Every year, US consumers use credit and debit cards to buy trillions of dollars in goods and services with their national currency. That currency depreciates a bit every year, sometimes more than a tiny bit, and various intermediaries collect roughly 3% in fees on those transactions. It's not a good system. Cryptocurrencies, on the other hand, cryptocurrencies provide a clear advantage via lower transaction fees and offer the potential advantage of a more sound currency whose value does not constantly depreciate. One major impediment to realize this potential is that, compared to national currencies, merchants do not accept cryptocurrencies on a wide scale. Bakkt could change that situation. It could be the venture that really does transform Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency into full-fledged money. Many people have missed it, but last week's official unveiling of Bakkt is a much bigger story than Warren Buffett's rat poison problem. All right, so obviously, I'm sure whether you think this is good or bad, whether you're a Bitcoin purist, thinks everything needs to be as 100% decentralized, or if you're excited about this news, you can see that this will allow tons more people to get involved, tons more new money to come into the market, and one of the most important things is that they plan to unveil this not next year, not 2 years, but actually of November of this year. So at the end of the year, Q4, beginning of Q4, I believe. I mean, obviously, this is something that not only will definitely be positive for the public sentiment towards cryptocurrency, but also something that once people get started with it, it's obviously going to bring a lot of new money in. So you can see why I think that's going to make sure we get to new all-time highs. The final thing I want to talk about, the reason that Bitcoin will be over 30K by the end of the year at least, is market cycles. Here's the thing, guys. We are par for the course when it comes to market cycles. Nothing new is happening that hasn't happened 1,000 times before, whether we're talking about stock market or crypto market. This is what happens in the market. A lot of you have been commenting recently, asking my opinion, and a lot of you said, do you think we're at the capitulation stage? I'm 100% getting out of the market. I cannot afford to lose more. We might be. We might also be in the anger stage. We don't know exactly. What we do know is that this low we are experiencing is on par for the course. We literally see this happen to Bitcoin every single year. And don't forget, when these green flags, when everything we talk about here falls into place, when the market begins its journey to a bull run, it can shoot up very fast. Here's a question for you. I don't want you cheating. This is a question for you. Do you know how long it took last year for Bitcoin to go from 6K to 20K? Do not look, do not cheat. I want you to pause the video, go in the comments, and answer this question. Do you know how long it took last year for Bitcoin to rise from 6K to 20K? Let me see your guesses. Now I'll tell you the answer. Bitcoin's rise from 6K to 20K last year literally took place from November 12th to December 16th. That is literally, it's basically a month, just a few days over a month. So my point is, when we get going again, I suspect that we will rise just as quickly, rise greater than before, and I still say that there are just so many green flags out there. We continually go over them. And if I saw red flags, I'd tell you that too. I said in the title that Bitcoin will be 30K or over. And I definitely believe that, but the thing is, it could be 30K or over, basically. 30,000 is a conservative estimate by the end of this year, and definitely over the next 5 to 10 years. The next 5 to 10 years, I believe that one day we will be having a conversation about Bitcoin being $100,000 and even Bitcoin being $1 million. And to sum up, The infrastructure, the big money, the institutions, they're all quietly putting everything into place. The on-ramps for new money are being created every day before our very eyes, and I suspect one day soon we will immediately see a switch from the mainstream media, and they'll start reporting on things like this. And that's going to cause tons of people to FOMO in, which isn't ideal. It's just something I know is going to happen. It happens every single year. And my point is, now is some of the best times to buy or to cost average. I still believe investing in Bitcoin will lead to huge, life-changing gains. It's just my opinion. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will live as one. All right, thank you guys very much. What do you guys think? So again, my reasons why we can see Bitcoin 30K by the end of the year is SEC approval, the new backed venture, and of course the fact that the market goes in similar cycles. I mean, this almost seems like a trivial point right here, but the fact is it is true, and it's been proven year after year, cycle after cycle. Tell me what you think in the comments, guys.